Hi, welcome back to my channel. So this is day 12 and this is a summer inspired look. This might be a relatively quick video, so I have spent a lot of time already. I got my ring light in today and some of the other stuff that I got to try and make filming a little better. But that also means that I had to completely change the way everything was set up. And that meant clearing everything off of my vanity and moving all my makeup around. So right now, this room is just a disaster. With this setup, it does mean the camera's a little further away, which I think is going to be good. And I can zoom in when I'm actually doing lighting. It also seems to be helping a lot with the autofocus. Everything is autofocus now because I can no longer reach the camera. And it also means that if I put a mirror in front of me that you can see it. So I'll try to remember not to do this thing with holding a mirror in front of my face. And I'm sure that there is going to be more trial and error over at least the next, week, maybe forever. So for foundation, I already put on my foundation and I decided to mix things, see how that goes, just because I thought it would be interesting to find out. So I mixed the Too Faced Do You, which is the foundation that I did the review on yesterday, with the Too Faced Peach Perfect. So this is my probably all-time favorite foundation. And the Do You, I really liked it. It is very dewy. So if you like very dewy, then it's for you. However, it gives a much lighter coverage. And I don't know how well you can see this, probably pretty well, because even with concealer, I scratched my nose pretty badly right here last night while I was very aggressively removing my eyebrow makeup. And I'm not used to having my nails even remotely long. And while they are not long, they're longer than they normally are. And I meant to paint them, but then I started doing room stuff and I don't want to have wet nails. So I decided I would wait until I was done with the room. So hopefully tomorrow my nails will be painted. So I mixed them to see if I could get a little more coverage from using the Peach Perfect while getting some of the moisturizing benefits from the Do You. And I actually really like it so far. It still gave a nice finish. The smell is really interesting. I actually like the smell of them together, perhaps more than I like the smell of the two of them separate. So that was interesting. All right, so I've done my foundation. My foundation and my concealer are all that I have done. I haven't done anything with my eyebrows. I haven't even powdered yet because I just wanted to jump into this and see how the recording's gonna go. I am eager to get everything back in place. I'm hoping that I grabbed what I need for this look and that it is all in front of me, because it's going to be a real pain to have to find things if they are not in front of me. Also, I didn't grab a lipstick, and there's only one sitting here, and it is Melted Matte. This is Granny Panties. So I guess this is what I will be using today. Maybe. That might change. We'll see. I might just convince myself to get up and walk the 4 feet to where my lipsticks are. Oh, actually, they're not. I thought they were back there. They're not. They're over that way. So it's really only 2.5 feet. So I am going to go ahead and powder. It is probably not that warm in here, really. I actually don't feel like it's that warm. It is really, really humid in my house right now. The sound of the dehumidifier was bothering me when I was trying to sleep, and so I turned it off. Yeah, so this right here, if you can't see it right now, you'll be able to when I zoom in a little bit. It's pretty bad. Yeah, these two foundations mixed together, Too Faced needs to like come up with that formula, because the two of them together is like the perfect foundation. And I don't want to have to always have two foundations. But I will if that's what it takes. I also was going to just use Gimme Brow for my brows and just do a really simple brow. I'm still probably going to do a fairly simple brow, especially since it being humid in here is appropriate for doing a summer look, because a lot of what I am going for, I wear less makeup in the summer usually, and I definitely have difficulty with being able to like sit down and do my makeup because it's hot and gross and everything is just sort of put to the side. So a lot of times during the summer, I will just go ages without wearing makeup at all. For my eyes, I'm going to go for sort of a yellow and orange theme, which means that the lipstick is not going to work at all. I'll figure something else out. Maybe we'll just go with lip gloss. I'm using the NYX Ultimate Brights. So I got this on Amazon Prime Day and I haven't really had an opportunity to use it. So this is going to be interesting, especially since I haven't entirely decided what I'm going for with this look. I am also going to use the Kristen Leanne Daydream palette just for the color Daydream, just for my transition shade. And I'm going to do that with a Sigma F63 airbrush blender. Someday maybe I'll know the names of the brushes. Probably not. So, having a weird day. I'm really tired. And I really want to do stuff around the house. And I really want to film and I want to edit and I want to do all of this stuff. But I'm so just like exhausted, like mentally and emotionally. And I'm also a little irritable, which just sort of comes with the territory sometimes. So I really want to use this shade from ColourPop, which is I Like You. And it's a Super Shock Ultra Glitter. And it's a really pretty sort of orangey yellow shade. So I think I'm gonna go just with like a darker orange. I might even start out with like a brown out here and work my way into an orange and then into the yellow. So I'm gonna go back into the Kristen Leanne palette just because there isn't a brown in the NYX Brights palette. I'm just gonna use the brush that's in here. I'm gonna start out with my outer corner. So last night I couldn't sleep, and at like 5 o'clock this morning I just kept thinking of all of these things that I have experienced in my life that either like all of a sudden all of these memories just came flashing back, and it was so strange and sort of uncomfortable. Like it was kind of just like emotionally uncomfortable, and it was a little bit difficult because it wasn't what I wanted to be experiencing. I'm going to go in with Subscribe a little bit up above here. And so it was definitely a strange night. I ended up getting up and literally just spending time like putting stuff, like just taking notes and putting them in my phone so that I would have the ability to remember what things I was thinking about and how they were bothering me. So I'm going to go into this shade right here. These don't have colors, so just this orange up in the corner. They don't have colors. They don't have names. But I find when I get to the therapist's office, she'll ask me, you know, what's been bothering me? What have I been thinking about? What keeps me up at night? And I don't necessarily, like, I'm not necessarily able to recall it in that moment. And that's really frustrating because these are things that I definitely need to work through. I mean, some of the stuff that I was thinking about that was coming up for me is stuff from when I was like 2 or 3 years old. And that it's things, I mean, most people I don't think even necessarily remember when they were 2 or 3 years old. I'm going to zoom this in some so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'll zoom it in more when the eye look is done so that you can get a better look at it. I don't want to zoom it in too much right now because I want you to be able to see me. I hate it when people are talking and I can't see their mouth moving. So, but I took note of all of these things, which even right now, like I can only think of some of the things that were even an issue or came up. And a lot of it revolved around things that I would say happened to me as a child or even as a teenager. I grew up with both a lot of support because my mom really wanted to do everything she could to be supportive. And so she would tell me every day that I was smart and beautiful, but I also grew up with a lot of both physical and emotional abuse. So I'm going to go in with this color that's down here at the bottom, the second one in, kind of the orangey color. So growing up around abuse is something that a lot of people don't know that they're experiencing abuse while it's happening. And I did, even as like a very small child, I remember knowing that it was an abusive situation and just being really aware of everything my whole life. And I think that kind of awareness, on the one hand, is something that a child shouldn't need to have. But on the other hand, it's also what made it so that I was able to survive and survive in a way that has allowed me to, while I have, issues with depression and anxiety, it's also allowed me to be a functional human being who didn't, end up somebody who is addicted to drugs or running away from home or just generally not being able to be a functioning person in society. So I don't know, I appreciate that I knew it. Sometimes I get really sad when I realize that I never really had a childhood. And that's something that I think every kid deserves to have. I just showed you the shadow. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Getting used to where the camera is. So, yeah, if I had had a kid of my own, definitely I would have done everything in my power to make sure that they really got to enjoy their childhood and be a child. And it's just something that, unfortunately, the way that life is, that's a luxury that isn't viewed as a luxury and shouldn't be a luxury. Something that every kid should have the right to be a kid. But, it's it's not something that a lot of kids get, unfortunately. And it's really sad. So this is that Super Shock shadow in I Like You. And I said this yesterday, but if you use Super Shock shadows, make sure that after you use them, you close them up really tight, because if you don't, they will dry out. I really love this color though. And I'm glad that I'm getting to do a summer inspired look. It was not a summer inspired day by any means. It has been rainy and dreary, and usually I absolutely love what other people would consider rainy, gross days, but because I've been in a funk, it's just made me not want to get out of bed even more. So a little bit of sunshine would actually have been nice today, but that wasn't in the cards. Hopefully you can see the colors and they're picking up on camera. So I am going to use this liner smudge. This is Eco Tools brush. So it's just a really tiny tipped brush. I'm going to take that and I'm going to go back into the darker orange color and I'm going to smudge underneath my lash line. And I'm only going to do that on this outside portion because I'm going to try and do some bright yellow in the middle just to keep things bright and summery. I don't want this to turn into too orange of a look. I don't want it to become more of an autumn look, which it could very easily be an autumn look as well. But I think that keeping it sparkly and bright helps make it more summery. So I'm going to use the yellow, just the straight up yellow that is in the NYX palette. And then I actually have a yellow Inglot gel liner that I am going to grab. And I'm going to do yellow liner. 1 second. This is Inglot number 84. And it is just a bright yellow. Bright yellow. And this is my first time using the yellow. I'm super excited. When they had the sale at Macy's, I ordered some extra colors, so I picked this up. So I zoomed back out just because I felt like I was having a hard time. I need to definitely adjust it so that it's up a little bit higher. And then I decided to see if I could find something while I was up. And I don't have a lot of like brighter or lighter colors. I tend to wear pretty dark lips or just a plain nude lip. But I have this, and I don't know how you say the name of this company. It's DOUCCE. And I don't want to butcher it and say something inappropriate, but I've never even opened this. It's just like a little deluxe sample that I got. Maybe in an Ipsy, maybe it came with something I ordered, but it looks like a color that's going to go well with this eye look. And the color is actually called Holiday Getaway, which seems appropriate given that I'm going for a nice summery look. Now we're going to see how well I'm able to do. My normal eyeliner brush is somewhere in this room, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it because I really just want to get back to cleaning. And so we're gonna go in with this one, which is a lot thicker than what I normally use. So this, like, look at the color payoff you get with these. Like, you're not going to get that with most liquid liners. And usually I'm using a much more precise brush, which means that you're going to get a nice crisp line that I'm not going to be able to get using this brush. Alright, see if I can do a sort of wing, and then I'm going to come down this way. And then I'm just going to put this right in the water line. I also don't think I grabbed a mascara. I really just was not prepared to do this. But I don't want to get behind anymore, because it's just something else that, like, this is something that I'm doing to help with my anxiety, and so I don't want it to become something that is adding to my anxiety because I'm not fulfilling essentially goals I made for myself. Oh, this one actually, this brow fill that is a Sonia Kashuk. I think this one also, one of the, like, there is a set. I bought a bunch of individuals. I bought some individuals, and then I also bought a set when it was on sale for like 20% off or 25% off or something. So this is the brow spoolie on one side, but this one is definitely thinner and will work better, I think, than that one. So I'm going to end up with one good eye and one bad eye. I'll just take all of my pictures from this side. I usually take all of my pictures from the other side, and which has more to do with my handedness than it does with that being like my good versus bad side. It's just easier for me to be able to get photos on that side that are in frame and in focus. All right. I am really excited about this eyeliner though. And these eyeliners are just awesome. I love Inglot eyeliners. They make all other eyeliners just seem not creamy enough, not pigmented enough, not long enough lasting. They put all other eyeliners to shame, is what I'm saying. So, maybe, I've been trying to figure out what I want to get for Christmas gifts, because I tend to give my friends makeup the last few years, and while for, like, there's one friend that totally works for, and that's great, and then, you know, I have a friend who I think would probably like me to get other things for her. So, I don't know, but if I do end up getting her makeup, then maybe what I'll do is just invest in some of these eyeliners, because it's something that she can do that's just really simple and easy. Easy breezy cover girl. Okay. In the waterline. I also spent a lot of time today. I found some different editing software that I think I like, but it has a lot more features, which is nice, but it is also not particularly user-friendly, which means that there is a large learning curve for somebody who is not familiar. I have some experience with doing like camera editing, like just photo editing. Video editing is definitely a different beast. So, and also the editing that I'm used to doing with photos, I did with my Mac, which can handle a photo and rendering that, it can't handle rendering an entire video. So I'm also using, like, trying to find software that I can use, and I'm having to learn it completely. Whereas with photos, I'm using software, I'm using Adobe software that I got when I was in school that I'm used to, and I know how to use it. So it's just been a bit of a struggle. Okay, so I did not grab any mascara. Oh, I still have this mascara sitting here from yesterday. So we're going to put this on. This is the Sephora V for Volume mascara. And I know that I looked for a name yesterday and couldn't find one. Still can't find one. But it's the burgundy color. So the wand that I hate, that I've already talked about how much I hate it, but the wand, focus. The wand looks like this. It's a super fluffy, weird wand that I don't like. So I didn't think to grab a mascara, but I grabbed my eyelash curler. So I was half ready. We're gonna give me credit for the half ready that I was. Like, I feel like by volume, they meant we're going to clump all of your lashes together. So this is, zoom this back in so that you can see. So, focus. So this is the side with mascara. This is the side without mascara. And it's just it's heavy. It holds them down. And it's because it clumps them together. If it didn't clump them together like that, I don't think that it would do that. So yeah, so this mascara is, like, I love the color. Oh, and I totally just got it on the eyelid. That is the good eye from the eyeliner. What the hell? I'm just going to kind of speed through the rest of this look and be done so that I can move on. What is happening? All right. So I'm going to let that dry and then see if I can flake it off. So I really like the color of the mascara when I have other mascara wands and I can use it and have it not be so clumpy, because that wand literally just, like, clumps all of my lashes together and then they just fall, and I have a hard time getting my lashes to stand up anyway. Okay, so now we are going to move on to bronzer, blush, highlight, lips, in that order. So I'm just going to use the Tarte, the Park Avenue Princess, and I feel like if I'm doing a summer look, I should probably give myself a little bit of color in my face, since I don't have a whole lot of that naturally. And this is, like, it's definitely a color that I like. It's a little bit warmer toned than I would probably necessarily go for. Which just means that I have to make sure that I mix it, like, that I blend it well into my blush. Like, I can't just have this without having any blush on as a contour, because then it's really obvious because it ends up looking orangey. So yeah, that's a thing that happens. I don't know when I started saying that's a thing so much. I've always said it some, but not just constantly. I think that part of my issue right now is that this is the only real interaction I'm getting. And this is an interaction. I'm talking to a camera. I'm talking to a camera and I just called it the only interaction I'm getting. That explains the problem pretty well. I'm just not getting, I'm not around people a lot right now. So when I sit down and start talking to the camera, I just start saying crazy things. Also, trying to figure out what to talk about when I'm doing this every day is a challenge. And right now, it's a challenge just because I want to be working on this room so that I can be in a better place to do this tomorrow. And it has to get done before I film again, because doing this with stuff all over the place is just sort of frustrating. I had a blush. I don't know what I did with it. So we're going to move on to highlight. Maybe I don't need a blush between my contour and my highlight. We're going to find out in like 4 seconds. This is the Ofra Pillow Talk highlighter. So, if this will come on, focus. So the camera says it's focused right now, but I can see that it's not focused. Okay, there we go. So, it's a really pretty pink to gold shift. I thought about using the ABH, the Amrezy, just because I think that would be a good highlight with this look also. You know what? I just looked over and saw, I'm going to change my mind completely. I am actually going to use the Becca Opal. So this is just another little deluxe sample size that I got. I'm pretty sure I got this from Macy's. But it has this cute little mirror in it too. But I think that this will go better with this look. It has almost like an orangey undertone to it. So, and I'm actually putting this on with my blush brush. I'm hoping that a little bit of the blush is going to come off with it. Becca makes really beautiful highlighters. Okay, yeah, I am not hating that at all. I'm actually going to use a little bit of this right up here under my brow. Oh, I'm really glad that I looked over and saw that, because this color definitely goes with this better than I think the Ofra one would have. Okay, and lips. You can tell that everything in front of me is a mess because I will hold something up and show it in the camera, and then 12 seconds later when I'm looking for it to put it on my face, I can't find it. So that is not the most enjoyable experience that I have had. So again, this is the, I don't know how you say this. I'm going to call it Doucce. D-O-U-C-C-E. I know that I spelled it earlier, but I still don't know how to say it. So this is just the lip. This is the first time I'm ever trying it or trying any lip products from them. So, alright, so the formula is thin, which makes it comfortable, but it also seems like it's making it a little bit streaky. So hopefully that will, like, it seems like maybe it's coming together a little bit as it's drying. This is something that I would definitely wear in the summer. And as for the combination of the foundations, everything seemed to go on top of them really nice. They're still sitting really nice. The foundation isn't settling into my lines or my pores. It's not doing anything weird. It's only been, you know, like a half an hour, 45 minutes since I put it on, but it definitely doesn't seem to be doing anything that would make me not want to make this combination a regular thing, that's for sure. I'm pleased. So, feel like spending a whole ton of money but having foundation for the next 6 to 8 months, you can get the Peach Perfect and the Do You and mix them together. But don't buy the same shade in each one because Too Faced doesn't make their shades the same across their brand. Anyway, this was an interesting thing going on today. Sorry for the very disjointed rambling and not being really prepared. So thank you for sticking around. This is day 12, summer inspired look. Have a good day, and I will see you probably tomorrow. Bye.